How is it going, everyone? Today it is Wednesday, January 24th. Never know the date. And this is the video for today. So we're going to go over, as always, the market context. We're going to go over the previous pick, and then I will give a pick for today, which, as a big hint, is on my screen. So first, market context D1. From all our previous videos, we know that nothing has really changed. We are still very strongly bullish on a fundamental and technical basis. In terms of potential slowdowns, we have the FOMC statement next week. So the market's pricing in some rate cuts for this first quarter. You know, the Fed says, hey, we're still pretty bullish. We're not really going to, still pretty hawkish. We're not really going to do that. You know, we could see a little bit of selling. The other thing is if the market gets ahead of itself a little bit too much, we could see a little bit of profit taking and stalling, and we want to take gains on our swing longs. But right now, there's been no indication that the market is going to roll over, that it's going to stall. So we are still 10 to 10 bullish in the long term, fundamentally and technically. Now, on a shorter term time frame, we are also quite bullish. If you look over here, we had this breakout to the all-time high. We digested the gains for these 2 days, held the breakout, and then today we pushed up higher. So let's zoom back on an M15 basis. Let's just take a look at this over here. You can see here's the move to the all-time high. We broke out and we're just compressing, absorbing all the supply. And then with some material earnings, Netflix did really, really great, for example. A couple of other stocks did well. We had a nice gap up. We probed in for support. And now we are kind of having this choppy move higher. So nice gap up. If you had some swing longs, it was a great chance to take some profit. If you are looking to enter some swing longs, this is a nice time to look at those as well. So let's zoom in here a little bit on what's happening intraday. So we had a gap up overnight, which I attribute mainly to the Netflix earnings. They had a subscriber beat by a lot. I think the expectation was like 8 or 9 million. They had 13 million. So huge positive surprise. They also issued some higher guidance. I think original Q1 EPS guidance for 2024 was about $4.41, and that's been increased to 4.4. What does this really matter? All it basically says is, hey, you know, Netflix is going to do better than we thought. Let's buy this stock. There's no other major news coming out this month. There is the GDP number, which isn't super big. Pete's saying to be looking at it, so I'm going to keep an eye out for it, but it's not something that I normally look at. The context as well is pretty bullish. The one thing that I'm kind of cautious here is that the market is a little bit overextended from its 8 EMA. I think if it's from my view, if it's usually about 2 ATRs away, it's a little bit overextended. Sometimes it can still keep going. Sometimes it may not. I know Dan in the Real Day Trading chat had done some analysis on overextension, and 1.6 ATRs he found is the average for a lot of stocks. It's not a hard rule of thumb, but it's sort of a little reminder, I think, just to say, hey, if you need to see if it's extended or if it's not overextended, you can use that 1.6. I kind of lean a little bit more towards 2. It's not that I won't take any trades like that, but I'm a little bit more cautious because it's already made a nice run. It may have to probe for support. It may be a little bit tired. So here you can see here ATR is 4, so let's call it $8. The EMA 8 is 481. So we are a little bit overextended, I would say, but not the most overextended. So what is my market bias for today? Well, we gapped up. We probed into the gap here. We had some candles, but there was a little bit of buying each time. We probed this low here with a long red candle, then buyers gobbled it up pretty quickly, and we had some pretty nice steady buying all the way to make a new high of the day, which I really liked. What I didn't like here is we immediately gave back some of those gains, and we had to test VWAP, and we started compressing here sideways. So what I was thinking is, okay, well, this move is pretty bullish. The volume hasn't been great today, but this volume was nice at 1040. It might have just been some shorts picking a top here, getting squeezed out. Go over here, work off some of the supply, and then start to compress. So my bias is here today, well, we're not gangbusters bullish, right? And what would gangbusters bullish look like? Maybe not gangbusters, but this is a very bullish move, right? Where it picks up some steam, steady buying. There's no major retracements, very orderly price action, right? Look at this. We gap up and we compress, hold those gains an inch higher, right? Those are the tells from the first hour. We probe down, move up, probe down, move up. So my bias is this is going to be a choppy, bullish channel. When we test the bottom end of the channel, that's when you find stocks with relative strength. We move up, you take some gains at the top end of the channel and let it compress, see some profit taking, let it reload, and then we get this next leg higher. So this bearish cycle over here, fairly benign, didn't do much. Also, the 1OP was pretty weak. LRSI has stayed above 0.8, which is very bullish. This bullish cycle produced, then we had a nice bearish cycle over here. The market is holding VWAP. We're working off some of the supply, and 1OP is starting to cross over. We want this dotted line to be flat, but so far, the longer this is holding, the more bullish I am, because sellers weren't able to knock this down. Buyers from the sidelines are going to want to hop in. Shorts are going to be scared. They might be squeezed out, and bulls are going to look to enter and push this move higher. So that is what I'm seeing. As far as the pick, I'm going to go over this pick first because it's more pertinent to the price action happening right now, and then I'm going to go review the prior picks. So we know we are mildly bullish. I don't think the market's going to drop off today because we got this nice round of buying. However, I don't think we're going to be gangbusters bullish. So we need to find strong stocks during this time. I found AMD. Chips were very, very strong today. If you look at the chart, super strong D1 chart, moves up, pulls back to the 8 EMA, moves up again, pulls back again. Super nice. There's earnings coming up next week. There's some semis and stuff like that announcing. So I don't want to hold it too much. I'm kind of just going to be day trading it here. And here's what I like about AMD. So, a little bit of profit taking on the gap, and then we immediately boom, stacked green candles over here at 950 while the market was doing what? It was going down. So let's look at AMD from 10 on over here, held all the gains. Markets start to move up. Okay, working off some of the profit taking. Could not knock the stock down at all. Compressed, right? There should be profit taking here. There's not. Why? Because there are buyers. So we move it back up higher. Compress again. You might say, oh, well, we're compressing. Well, look what the market's doing right now from 10:45 to 11:10. Okay? 10:45 to 11:10. Stock completely flat when the market goes down. As soon as the market starts to go sideways, this stock is grinding higher. So this tells me two things. One, I like AMD because it's shown its relative strength. As long as the market doesn't completely plummet, the stock will be really, really good. The second thing that I liked about AMD was that it didn't get too ahead of itself. The D1 chart has a lot of room, right? There's not really any profit taking here. It just, as long as it's valued by institutions to be good, right, then we are going into this stock. So that's why I like AMD. I entered a small position here at, or I guess a half position here at 11:35 on this compression break. Now, it was a little bit early in terms of the market cycle, but here's my thinking. We were holding all the gains from VWAP here, and LRSI was crossing up a little bit. A lot of this bear cycle had been exhausted, right? We'd gone through about 35 minutes, 7 candles, nothing's really going on, and AMD's grinding higher. So I know that even if the market does nothing, AMD should continue to grind higher. If the market goes up, then AMD should get a boost. So I'm still watching the market. I'm evaluating. When the market finds support and starts to grind up higher, like we're getting over here, AMD's continue to produce, then I'm going to add to the position, like what I'm seeing right now. So I'm going to wait for this candle to finish over here. Make sure that this cross holds. Make sure it's not a 1OP fake out. But it looks like we are going to break through and start to move higher. So as long as this candle closes above this high, and AMD, doesn't have an insanely bearish M5 candle, I'm going to add. So we're going to take a look back at this in a couple of minutes. You can see a lot of other alerts is coming up over here. And I put a lot of alerts on semis. Semis are pretty strong today, and that's going to be the focus of my day trading. NVIDIA is not bad, but you can see it broke down a little bit with the market. I'm trying to look for semis is strong. What's the best in semis? INTC was really nice. There's some earnings coming up, and there's maybe some gap resistance here. I didn't like the upside reward as much, but the chart is still pretty nice. AMAT is very nice as well. You can see it started to move up higher, broke through this high over here. A little bit overextended for a swing, but there's plenty of room. I think it's an excellent day trade. I think AMAT is a great one that you could take as well. If for day trading, I didn't want to overload on a certain sector as much. TSM, really big move here. Looks like it has to work off some supply. So what I would do is set an alert. When it can break out of this compression, then it can be pretty good. SMCI is also doing quite well, but you can see it's rubbing up against this high over here. I was considering taking a position here yesterday, but it's not, it could work. It's just not something I usually do. I think it needs a little bit more confirmation. AVGO is very, very nice. Oh, look at that move. Yeah. So this is probably my second pick, to be honest. It's a really, really nice trade. You can see the same thing compressed while the market was moving down. I liked AMD because it was grinding up higher, so I think it was a little bit stronger during that period. But, I mean, you cannot go wrong with taking AVGO on this compression break around over here, and then you get a nice leg higher. I really like AVGO as well, and that would probably be my second pick. So let's go over the picks from the prior videos. So first one over here, AMGN. So you can see it's still hitting this resistance, which I'm not liking. So I said yesterday that it was getting some relative strength, but this to me is a big sign of relative weakness. It did not gap up. It could not get through here. There's still some profit taking at this level at around 312. So I'm not as crazy about AMD, but I'm still bullish on the market. So this is the trade-off here. If you had a lot of buying power tied up, you'd probably want to get out of the stock for a small profit on a retest of this level at 312. Because it's not taking up a lot of buying power, I'm willing to stay in the trade, but I only have, I believe, one share of AMGN, so it's not even a full position. So I'm willing to give it some time. I do believe that it'll surge higher, but I don't like this profit taking I'm seeing right over here. It's not, we should be moving up, right? We should be moving up with the market at least. The market from the January 17th to January 24th, right? We're going to look at a low of 469 and a high of almost 489. That's a $20 move in the market. It's a pretty nice move, right? I mean, this is not what we want to see. We want to see something that's a lot better. So I think here's where you can make the call. If you want to take small profits, totally justified, and I think that makes a lot of sense. If you're still more bullish in the market like I am, you're willing to give the stock a chance to push up higher, but you really have to watch the market. Any signs of the market slowing down, the stock is going to tank. So we don't want that. We don't have time working on our side. The other stock that I was in was ACAM. I really like ACAM. And I took profits on it this morning as it approached this high plus trend line. It broke through it, held the gains, and it's digesting it really well. ACAM could continue to still go higher. It made a new all-time high today, and I really, really like that. But it's prudent to take profits at the all-time high and see what happens. So sometimes they break through, sometimes they get rejected. Either way, that's just what happens. You can always re-enter that trade if it looks like it's holding up pretty well, which it might be. It's a little bit out of the gate, but I did some nice profits on ACAM. So the pick of yesterday was ABBV. Looks like it hit this level up higher and got slapped down pretty hard. So I couldn't get the fill yesterday on my ABBV pick. You can see I had a fill somewhere over here at 167 and it took off. So there was some space to here. So, if you were very prudent, you could take some profits around here, but, there's not a ton of room on that trade. So I don't think it was probably my best pick. There weren't a lot of great picks yesterday, but it's one of the better ones I've seen. I do still think that this stock is a grinder, so it'll continue to grind up higher. We do have some time until earnings. So if you're long the stock here, and I would still be willing to hold this pick given the strength of the market. But you have to keep an eye on the price action that we're seeing. So ABV still a hold. ELF, not loving what I'm seeing here, filled in this gap. So pretty weak. And I think it's a similar place like an AMGN where the chart is still bullish, but the price action recently has not been bullish. So you'd probably have to wait out another leg higher. This may just take some more time, and you have a clock ticking before earnings. So still a hold on ELF. Just give it some more patience. Snaps continues to perform well that I picked on the 22nd. I had mentioned that there was some volatility. It's not the strongest stock, so I'd be fine taking profits somewhere here. If you got in, you can get a nice $12 to $14 on this move. That's about a 1 ATR move, which is very, very nice. So Snaps is doing pretty well. Okay, so let's take a look at AMD. All right, so AMD still holding nice relative strength. We have a bullish cross here, so I would actually add to the trade right here because it's doing what I want it to do. So I have a price a little bit lower here. You can see it wiggles and jiggles a little bit. So if I get a price like that, I can add pretty much at my entry price. So these are just little things to get a slightly better trade. But I'm going to give it until this candle close. So if I don't get this order fill on my candle close, then I'm just going to enter the order as it is and go about my day. So we're going to give it another minute here. You can see this bullish cross is forming and SPY starting to get some lift off. So I don't want to chase AMD. Look at that. I got my fill. So my average price here is going to be 179.10, which is right around this 8 EMA. So what I know is I don't think AMD is going to sell off hard. I think it's going to continue to grind up higher because that's what we've seen all day. And you just have to be patient on these grinders. I remember in a couple videos ago, I'm not sure if it was 2 or 3 days ago, but a couple videos ago, I was mentioning that I didn't know what to do on these market grind days, right? I like having stocks that pull back and then I can get an entry and then they go higher. But on these grinder days, these only give a lot of pullback and I didn't feel comfortable chasing. AMD is one of these kind of situations where there's no indication that it's going to sell off. So I'm going to wait out the grind and just make sure that it has relative strength through all of these SPY cycles over here. So I want to see this stock produce, make new highs during the SPY cycle. And then I also want to see the stock preserve its gains during a SPY bear cycle. And so far, it should preserve its gains. There should be nothing in AMD telling me that we can't preserve any gains. I also have a profit target on this stock. It's made a pretty nice move today. I do believe that I think with this stock, I'd probably go for something like $2 is pretty good relative to the ATR. So if I can get a $2 move on the stock, something like 181, then I'm pretty happy taking those gains. So AMD is my pick of the day as a day trade. I think you could probably still swing it, and it depends on the market conditions. So what I'd want to see for the market is that we're able to make a new high, and AMD also closes near its high of the day. If I have that, then I will take some market swings. Keep in mind that the market is a little bit overextended in my opinion, so I wouldn't go overboard with the swings. I'd maybe take 1 or 2. Don't overload on a certain sector. If it's semis, then you're going to take the hits on all of them, then you're going to take the gains on all of them. So your volatility is doubled in both directions. Bigger wins, but also bigger losses. So you can find another strong area as well. Don't just put it all into semis. But that is going to be my pick of the day. So I hope this was helpful, and I will catch you all in the next video.